That's the tone.
All right. I just started the recording. So, community, welcome to another AMA session. In here we have Das and Paul from Honor T, Honor Unity. Who are gonna be presenting the project, and with me I have Next. Next, you wanna say hi to the team. Next is our co-host for today as well. You wanna say hi to the team, brother?
Hi, Paul.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Good to have you guys here.
Thank
We're
you.
looking forward to seeing you. Hi, Das. How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm good.
Awesome. So, yeah. So we're gonna start with the introduction. So, I don't know, is it Das or Paul? I don't know who should start first, but maybe Paul.
Yeah, sure. I'll play the introduction video. The audio plays fine, but Telegram isn't really built for sort of high frame rate video. So I'll play the video. It skips. That's Telegram, not us. But the audio should come through fine.
Yeah, I mean, before the introduction of the project, we want you to, present yourself to the community and how you guys got involved into the space.
Sure. Well, I'll maybe play the video first, and then we'll do the introduction.
All right, go ahead. Sure.
Great.
Welcome to Owners Unity, a community-driven token that revolutionizes the way the world purchases property. Imagine a future where every home earns passive income, a home that when you sell or pass on, continues to provide wealth and security that can't be sold separately from the property. Imagine then that every affordable housing property across the planet provides the same. That future starts now with Owners Unity. You are purchasing sales tax. Owners Unity will reward its holders with stable coin inflation, funding a buyback and burn, whilst adding to an affordable housing fund to help build homes that really help the global community. Our multi-reward system also ensures that everyone has the chance to improve their financial situation. From owning the token to staking the token, there are multiple rewards for all. Every applicant will be voted on by our community. Every major decision will be voted on, and the progression of Owners Unity will be in your hands as part of the same collective. For your assurance in this project, the team's tokens will be locked for 12 months. The liquidity pool will also be locked and moved to an insured wallet. There will also be stringent limits on all the team's wallets as to the amount that can be withdrawn, and a time limit between withdrawals to add additional peace of mind. Owners Unity aims to return financial freedom to the people who are working hard to better themselves and also those who are being left behind. Together, we are committed to giving everyone the chance of financial stability and a home that will provide for them, especially in times of need. Join our revolution today.
Great, thanks guys. So I'll begin the presentation. Thank you everyone for joining us for a Owners Unity AMA. It's great to be with the Gold Diggers team. So I wanted to do a little bit of an introduction. Obviously the video gives you a little bit of an outline, but now we can go into a little bit more depth about what Owners Unity means, what our purpose is and what we hope to achieve. So Owners Unity is decentralized finance meets real estate. The core problem with the world that we're looking to solve is the global housing crisis. No matter what part of the world you're from, no matter what country you're in, you're aware that cost of property and the cost of home is outpacing the living wage and wage growth. There's a huge problem in the UK. I believe the statistic is in the past 3 months, houses have gone up over £26,000. It's sort of skyrocketing. House prices are now actually higher than what they were at the peak of the financial crash. So there's a huge problem with people of all ages, from all backgrounds, being able to afford a home. the premise of Owners Unity is everyone deserves a home and everyone should be able to access a home. So we aim to revolutionize the way that the world purchases property. We aim to revolutionize the way we provide that property too. So for homeowners, in real terms, what does this mean? It means abandoning the old mortgage type system in place for our Owners Unity payment program. So we get rid of the sort of overly complicated credit check system. We do a small credit check. However, that's not the basis of our full assessment. So we will do more of what we call an affordability check. So if you have been paying, £1,000 a month in rent, for example, you should not be turned away to have a mortgage for half of that, £500, for example. So we take a sensible view on each applicant. We look at the individual rather than the credit rating. So one example is a gentleman in one of our previous AMAs who's in America. He had a medical bill in his early 20s that bounced. Obviously, in America, you can get into medical debt, which obviously is something else we don't agree with. And that held him back, even though he had a good job, good income in his 30s, from actually purchasing a property. And we believe that's not correct. So that's one of the main aspects of Owners Unity. We take affordability checks rather than any sort of stringent checks and what a normal mortgage provider would do. Most importantly, we also offer lower deposits. So as part of the program, it's easier access. So instead of having to, again, rent a property for several years just to save up enough for a deposit, we believe that money should be used essentially, that can be offering a lower deposit to get access to the payment plan sooner and get into the property sooner. So you're not wasting any more money. We also shave years off the mortgage, so off the rental, the payment time period. So instead of a standard mortgage, which is of 30 years, we actually try and strip that down and use the power of the blockchain, and we reinvest the money that you pay in rent, and we share that with the homeowners, which is a completely unique concept. Most of that usually with a bank would go to shareholders or whatever, but we actually share that with the homeowners, with the aim of shaving years, if not decades, off that mortgage. And through our reward system for the homeowners and unique tokenomics system, we reduce the system or the payment term by several years and decades, and we use the blockchain to solve a lot of the problems with the current system. So in short, everyone deserves a home. Everyone should be able to afford a home. So the team itself, we've put together a strong bench of directors and advisors with a wealth of experience from all sectors, from blockchain, tokenomics, real estate, construction, finance. So we have Sal, who's our tokenomics expert. We have Barry McGinn, who has 18 years of property development experience. He's also involved in the $500 billion Saudi Arabian neon development, which is going to be one of the world's most largest development projects. We've also got Scott, who's on the call with us here. He's the founder. He has decades of experience in construction management, energy, renewable energy, and of course the crypto space. My name's Paul. I am the Chief Marketing Officer. Scott has known me for several, must be over 10 years now, 10, 12 years. My experience is promotions, managing global sales teams all around the world. And I have a good decade of experience with influencers and key opinion leaders. So I've got a very deep network and can utilize that network for the promotion of the product. That being Owners Unity. So I will allow Scott to take over. Perhaps he can give us a little bit of background on the founding of the project and his sort of reasons for starting everything up.
Thanks for the intro, Paul. Hi, everyone. I hope you're well. This came about a few years ago. I've a lot of friends that are in the property industry, and we always bemoaned the fact that it was getting harder and harder to achieve home ownership for people for no good reason. I think the key reasons behind it, like Paul said, are just basically house price increase, stagnant wages, and the difficulty of the credit checks, the non-human aspect of the credit check, which we hope to change. The core principles of our community are everyone has the right to a decent standard of living, and everyone has the right to a decent standard of home. I think that's key, and if we can lift the floor and get people out of their struggles, then society as a whole benefits, and that's the goal. The key points I feel that will attract people to our project is for the clients, for the people we hope to help. We're looking to give everyone the chance to get on the housing ladder and to move up the housing ladder because of the less prescriptive conditions that we use to allow people to access the property market. Like Paul touched on, clients can clear their balance quicker than the current conventional methods. We have a calculator on our website, which if you go to, you can play about with, and it shows you the length of time that it would take to own your own property using our formula. The other thing it will do is it will improve their own wealth, because at the moment, when you pay your money to your rental organisation, if you're not a homeowner, then that's dead money. That's dead money. It's gone. You get nothing for it. If you leave your money in the bank, you get 1% maximum as a return when the banks are sending the money out, loaning the money out, and they're producing the profit for themselves to pay the people upstairs with and give each other fat dividends. We don't do that. We reinvest everything. Plus, we attach a portfolio to the property. So the property will always provide passive income for whichever family is in situ moving forward. As long as you live in that house, your home will offer you extra protection against any hardships that might come along in the future. So we like to think of that as additional financial security. You know, as I said the other day, no one should have to worry about waking up in the morning and having their livelihood removed from them, their home. So that's something we're looking to negate as much as we can. For you guys, for the investors, what can we do? How do we help you guys? How do we make this project appealing to you guys? Well, we have a reward system, which is for stakers and also holders. And it's quite innovative because it has 6 different rewards. So if you hold our token through our tokenomics, which are primary, which is the token itself, so you've got the buy-sell rewards, then you have the secondary rewards, which are the rewards based on the primary business opportunity from the real-world utility, and then you have the tertiary rewards, which is the secondary system, because every penny that we take on in profit, that if it isn't used towards the company and moving the company forward, it's reinvested. And that reinvestment then goes into our tertiary system and you receive a percentage of those rewards. We find this hybrid format works very well and it will help reduce the risk, because although they work symbiotically, they are separate and they offer a buffer against each other. So, for instance, we've just had a market crash, or it's gone down quite substantially. If you held our token, we had been up and running, and we had a volume coming through from the real world project then you would be receiving a stable amount of BUSD, which would then negate the loss of the actual value of the token. And at some point, it will be where the price of the token is secondary in your management of the token, because you'll be receiving greater rewards from the real world project as we grow. Something that I like to clarify is this is a truly hybrid project. Every investor in our project, due to our tokenomics, receives rewards from the real world aspect of what we do. So for every property that goes through our system, the rewards are shared. You guys are the shareholders. The reason we've done this is because truly it's the only fair way to do it. And hopefully you will agree that a lot of projects that use you guys to leverage funds to get started, then they build a real world company, but the only profit or benefit you get from the real world company is if they do well, and they say they do well. They don't actually return any of the money that's made, any of the profit that's made from the real world company to you. You've just got to hope that they're doing well and the price goes up, the token price goes up, and you benefit from the volume and the rewards based on that. We actually provide you guys with a share of the profits of the company. So technically, our community are our shareholders, and we believe that's the only way it should be. We are truly trying to be a full cooperative. And obviously, the additional security that's added with the twin nature of the reward system offers security from exploit, because you can't get into just one aspect of the project. We're also looking to secure our smart contract and our liquidity through a third party. So it will be locked in a third party contract, and it can only be accessed by a community vote. So anything that impacts on your investment with our project, you get a say on. And we think that's important. That's how it should be if you're a cooperative. Secondly, we've got anti-whale dumping mechanisms. So you can only sell a certain amount of our token at a specific time. And then there is a time lock between sales. So no one can just take the floor from under what we're doing. We think that's important as well to protect you guys as much as we can. So just a brief recap. Holders and stakers, you get paid from every buy and sell transaction for the life of the token. Manual buyback and burns obviously should assist in creating an upward token price, and obviously the investment in the real world project, you receive returns on that. With regards to the security aspects, like I've said, we're looking to use a company called Everrise for the locking of the LPN smart contract. We're looking to use Reflex Finance as the launch pad. We're already in discussions with them. We're going through the process. So we'll get the contract audit and the KYC through Reflex. We're doxed anyway, but we're still going through that process. And like I said, community vote access to make changes, and community vote on all decisions impacting the community. So that's the basics of what we're doing. Paul, do you want to add anything?
Hi. Yeah. No, it all sounds amazing. You covered a lot there. I think really what I'd love to touch on is the vision for the brand, and the vision of what we're really trying to achieve. Obviously there's a lot of UK members of the team, of the core team. There's people from Australia, and now we've got advisors in the US. But we really want people to remember that this is a truly global project. What we envision is, housing huge plots of land with hundreds of affordable homes being built for families all across the world that deserve to live in good surroundings and deserve to have a good home, but can't necessarily afford $50,000 in deposit and are being denied and are in a bit of a poverty trap almost, because, you know, when you're renting, you're often paying a lot more in rent than you would for a standard mortgage payment. So it becomes a bit of a trap, you know, and it can be hard to escape for many families on different sort of socio-economic levels. So I really want you to envision that, you know, we're not just building homes in the UK. We're going to be looking at developer markets all around the world. We're going to be looking at, you know, places in Asia. We're going to be looking in Central and Eastern Europe. We're going to be looking in Africa, South America, all over the planet. So don't think this is some ivory tower project that's going to be building, you know, tower blocks in Manhattan. It's not going to be the case. Someone asked a really interesting question the other day of sort of what this project means to us. And to paraphrase, I think we both sort of said, you know, many people, you know, if not ourselves, we've all either personally experienced or known people who have really struggled to put a home over the head, and had to work too hard just to achieve that. And I think if we can just help one family member, you know, or one family or a group of families, just to alleviate that that struggle from their life, then I think we'd be happy, you know. But the plan is to scale it up to a global level to be able to help hundreds of families all around the world, and just to deliver, you know, housing shouldn't be a privilege, it's a right, you know. And through the power of the blockchain, we believe we can truly achieve that. It's also worth mentioning as well, please guys, prepare some questions for the end of the AMA. It's always really nice to have an engaging finish to the AMA. So any questions, please include it in the main chat in text, or even better, you can raise your hand and you can be unmiked to ask that question across audio.
Yeah, we definitely will have a question section, but before that, I'll always have to ask the same question in regards to the project as well. And I believe my buddy here as well also have questions as well in regards to the project. So yeah, I would like to. That was really an awesome presentation. First of all, and I also love the way you guys have explained so far about the project. But yeah, as always, no matter how much a project is good, how much vibes it have, there's always some certain things we have to look forward to. That's why there's always a reason to ask questions to get satisfied, right? So my first question to you guys would be from in regards to the owner unity. Do you guys think you are the only one coming up with this idea, or do you guys feel like there's kind of a competitive measures in the crypto space that seems like you guys are not the only one with this idea? And if there is, how have you guys been able to overcome those people? Because that's the space where there's always a competition, and for you to be able to stand out unique, for you to be able to know that you're not the only one with this, or to make sure that you're not the only one doing this, but you want to come out as standing, right? There's some certain things you have to do. So I'd like to know from you guys' perspective, how have you guys been able to make owner unity outstanding, and what makes it really, really different from the rest?
I think Scott or Das has done quite a bit in terms of trademarking and protecting the idea. And obviously the sort of tokenomics system we have is quite unique. You know, things like the APY on staking. But in terms of the business model, maybe Scott can go in a bit more detail about that.
Yeah, sure, buddy, not a problem. We want more people and more projects and more companies around the world to take our approach. We think it's sad that we haven't found anyone that does what we do yet. The reason I say this is because there are limited amounts of companies that are in the property space at the moment that are actually offering to share the profit from the real world company, not only with the investors, but also with the clients, to help reduce people's mortgages or the time it takes for them to own a property. No one I have come across yet is prepared to do this. You can go and look. If you can find anyone out there that's doing what we're doing, that would be superb. But lots of people are offering little bits here and little bits there, but we're offering a fully hybrid integration of what we believe is a true real-world utility with using crypto for what it was intended for. Crypto was intended to rebalance the financial system away from all of the corporate power and give us people that make the most money a say in what we do with it. You know, there are a lot of really rich people out there, but they get rich off our backs. We don't want to get rich off people's backs. We want everyone to lift each other up, and it's possible. It's only education that keeps us where we are. So I haven't found anyone that has the primary, secondary and tertiary tokenomics involved in their project. I haven't found any other company that is prepared to give money back to the people that they're trying to get into their project with regards to clients. So you have the end user, and we're saying to our end user, we don't want to bleed you dry. We want to help you protect yourself and safeguard yourself. We're still making a profit. Everyone makes a profit. We're just not being greedy. We don't charge any interest. So if your home is $250,000, you pay $250,000 because we've not got the overheads of having to buy all the stationery for 50 offices around the world. We don't have the overheads of having to match massive bonuses for people in the organisation. So rather than share that money to greedy people, we'd rather share it back to the people that have earned it, take the power out of their hands and return the power to you guys.
That's really amazing, and I love the fact that Honors Unity main focus is mostly all about the community, right? Because at this point of the time, for something like this to be successful, we have to look forward to the community itself, because they are the ones who are going to determine how a project can be sustainable, right? Right. So, yeah, I'd like to know about that as well. How have you guys been able to maintain a good community, and how have you guys been able to educate these people on how they can get involved with Honors Unity? It's all about, a friend telling a friend, right? That's all about referrals, right? You want Honors Unity to be implemented worldwide. So how can you do that? Maybe, for example, I am a new member in your community, and I have read about this. I have been educated about this. I'm ready to tell my friend as well. So I'd like to know how you guys have been able to educate people, especially your community members, on Honors Unity.
Yeah, sure. I think that the beauty about Honors Unity is that it's been such an inspiring project for a lot of people. We've really sort of won over hearts and minds, if you will. Everyone has personal experience that's made them invested in this in some way. We have calls from people in the Virgin Islands to Southeast Asia, or literally all over the planet, and everyone finds this message very inspiring. I mean, we're living in a very sort of greed-focused capitalist industry within crypto, and I think to hear, a project that's contributing towards homeless shelters and shelters for veterans and social housing to the sort of lower economic demographics. I think it's been super refreshing for people. So in terms of the community, that's what's brought them on, and we've got a super committed and passionate community too. On Discord, in the Telegram chat, we're getting a good following on Twitter now. So yeah, we've got a super passionate, although small, boutique, if you will, community. It's a very passionate one. Whether it's real estate agents in the US, whether it's people in construction in the Caribbean or what have you, we've really sort of captured hearts with the project and with the goal of our of the business. That, like I say, you can join us in all those community channels. It is worth mentioning also that the seed round is still open. If you want to head to outoken.com tokenomics.org. You can register for seed round now to be whitelisted and actually join us in part of that community.
Yeah, if I could just add, I think another thing is honesty and transparency. We answer every question that we can. We believe that if you're telling the truth and you're open with people, no one can trip you up. And if you educate people correctly, and let's be honest, most people in the world have a social element to them. Everybody wants to do well. Most people would want to lift other people up as opposed to, climb over them. That's just our normal instinct as humans. All we're doing is trying to extrapolate that and move against the current system, which empowers the corporates at the top and return the power to where it really belongs, which is with us. There's a lot more of us than them. So if we band together and make a change, there's not really much they can do about it.
That's really amazing. The reason why I was asking about that is because there are two steps we have to. Just like what you said, we have to be honest with ourselves, right? We don't want to deny the fact that lots of people here in the space are just here to make I'm coming next. After I finish, you can go on. So, like what I was saying, a lot of people are here in the space, and they are here to make money. Well, I believe we are all here to make money, but for this to be really, really different, for this to be really, really unique, we have to build up our project in a way by you just don't want to think about the aspect of making money. You want to, understand every aspect of what the project is all about. And how can that be possible? Is educating these people, right? Letting them know what the project is all about, what Honor to Unity has to offer. It's not just about getting a couple of X's and you forget about it. And but when you know the concepts, when you know what they are building, it helps you more to even want to hold on the long run. Even the newbies investors themselves can get involved with that as well. Next, you want to say something else?
Yeah, I want to. Hi, Paul and Daz. You guys are really doing a good job. Seriously, it gives me joy whenever I hear a project that talks about giving back to the community, talks about putting people's interests ahead of theirs. It's something joyous, something good to hear. And when it comes to housing, there are three things every human's need in this life when it comes to housing, food, and clothing, all those kind of stuff, because those are essential things. So bringing housing into the crypto space is something you need accommodation for. So it's a very good one. But I do have some question based on what you've said and some of the things that I saw on your website. I don't know if you can hear me, Paul, or Daz.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good. Now, when it comes to real estate, when it comes to housing, apart from, because I don't know if you guys are from the UK or from the Americans or where you guys from, but from your accent, I could tell that maybe Paul is from the UK or so. When it comes to housing, each government have a different way and different agencies they use to do theirs. Who controls and this and that, the do's and don'ts and housing. And for you to be able to get your investors to believe in you, you might have done a lot of inner job, government-wise or license-wise. So I don't know, is Owner Unity going to be a reactor, or are you guys going to be buying brokers, or are you guys going to buy the real estate and give it out to people? Are you going to be a reactor? I just want to confirm that.
Yeah, hi. Just to clarify, I've from the start I've been in touch with the FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, because we're UK based. So obviously we've done most of our prelim work around the UK. But the key thing to remember, I'll finish that first and then I'll move on. we've been in touch with the FCA, been through everything that we plan to do with the FCA, and the FCA have approved basically what we're doing. We don't need to register and get a license from them because of the way that we're doing what we're doing. The guy actually said that we were so innovative in our formula, and we've been in touch with their incubation department because they've never heard an approach like ours, so we're working through things with them too. But as the law stands in the UK, we're fine to do what we're doing. That was obviously the first step we took. Secondly, the key thing to remember, and sometimes people overcomplicate it, and please, I'm not saying anyone here has, it's just to clarify, we're not doing anything in the industry that isn't already being done. All we've done is tweak it so that it's to our clients' advantages as opposed to the corporation's advantages. That's all we're doing. We are redistributing the profits from the company back to the people that have invested. It's rather than keep them separate. Everything else, that's why this model can be rolled out globally. It will fit into the regulations and the legislations in whichever jurisdiction. And we will be property managers. We will have our own properties. It will be just a standard business, but its operations are done in a way that is designed to benefit the people that we truly are trying to help, as opposed to helping ourselves. And the other clarifying point I need to make is we are a business. We will make money. We're just not being greedy. We don't. How many houses do you need to live in? How many cars do you need to drive? Realistically, you know, some people want 15 houses, 58 cars, 15 yachts. You can't take them with you. You can't drive them all at the same time. There's no need to be greedy. And until we re-educate everyone about being fairer, and I mean by being fairer is it's okay to make money. It's absolutely fine to make money, but there's no need to make too much money. And yes, I do believe there is such a thing as making too much money. So that's the principle behind what we do. And hopefully that answers your question, buddy.
It does answer my question. So that's a good one. But I still have still want to go. No, what you're doing now is to, like you talked about, not being greedy and helping people taking back from the investments you already have to give to others. And you're trying to regulate how people buy and have a property. Now, in regards to this, I, as an investor, for instance, if I have to buy a property through your protocol, your platform, and I have more money than somebody that wants to just get a little box of it. So I'm just trying to see, how do you try to balance it? Because I could say, since you're making it easy for me to own a property, I could buy close to more than 5 real estate to buy some plenty houses from you, since you're making it easy. And to not be able to be balanced when it comes to others, I could just afford one or could just afford a rentage based on wherever you have. Is there a way that you're going to balance that so that somebody will not overshoot or buy more than the other person?
Yes, of course. You can only purchase one property using our system to start with. We're here to help people, not to help people get richer. So through the process, the application process, you'll be vetted. You will then go to the community for a vote. If the community approves you, you'll get on the system. All of the outline of our process to ownership is on our website, but that's basically what we do. Due to data protection, we only use your application as a reference number. So the community will only see a reference number and a breakdown of the information that's pertinent towards your application. Once you've, like I said, been approved, you go through the process. Once you've achieved ownership, then you go to the back of the queue. You can't then purchase another property anytime soon. So that's one way we balance it. We're looking to help people that can't really afford to get on the ladder. If you can afford a 5-acre home with 15 bedrooms, you're not really going to need to use our project. So we would also take that into consideration. We're not discarding anyone, but we are focusing on helping the people that need us. And that's how we will manage the prospective clients for our business.
That's a good one. That's a good one. It shows that you guys have everything sorted out. Well, are you going to be using any protocol system or not system? Because these only elevate or removed. You can only remove someone from buying more than one property. Okay, property check. I have a reference number. I can only use my accounts to get one. What if I'm using a different account? Is there a way you can detect that? So I'm just asking so everybody will be sure, the investment will be sure that, okay, they're safe. Even though you're using multiple accounts, you can only get one house or one property.
Yeah, we'll do everything we can to be secure, but you're always going to get people that game the system. And I would be lying to say no one will get through and get to own more than one property. It will be minimal, and as we evolve, we will find better ways and better technologies to manage that. But we all have to be honest. There's a risk in everything everyone does. We will take as many precautions as we can to stop it happening, but there is a possibility that someone will slip through the gap and get a second property. And I don't think anyone in reality would accept anyone saying we can eradicate that 100%.
I so much love your honesty. Your honesty does. It's so overwhelming. I love the fact that you can say this and you have everything sorted out. But there's something I saw in your white paper that I'd like to also get a clarification on. It says that the out token will use a community-based voting system so that all potential clients are voted on by the stakeholders and in time. All major decisions pertaining to the evolution will be community-led. So I want to understand that facet of your project. Is it going to be community-based or?
Yes, 100%. We're not going to be a DAO because we feel there are inherent difficulties with that system and we need to keep some control over what's happening. But because the contracts and the liquidity pool are locked, we can't do anything around that. So then anything that impacts on the community, we come to the community too. You guys have a vote and a say on it, and it's a straight up or down vote, yes or no. We'll filter through maybe 2 or 3 polls to get to a yes or no decision, but yes or no will always leave a majority decision. With regards to the community access, that was part of what I was just discussing with regards to applications. This is a concept. It doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to all of us. Yes, I did come up with the concept, but it's not mine. It belongs to us all. It's something that benefits all of us. So we all have a say in it. So we go to the community. We won't always get the decision that we want, but the majority will always get the decision. And we have to accept that compromise is needed. We all win some, we all lose some. But if we can move society along, re-educate some people and benefit the world as a whole, that's much more important, I believe.
That's awesome, mate. That's so awesome. So one final question for me before I go to Caleb. It has to do with your return of investments, return of allocation payments, the matrix you have there, the graphs that you draw in the white paper. I'm trying to understand how it looks, because if I have to bring $500, there is a part that talk about secondary out the economics and the territory out economics. I don't understand what your graph is really on saying that because of return of investments. So can you break that down for us?
Yes, of course, not a problem. Okay, so basically the tokenomics is split between, like I said, the primary token is a standard reflectionary token. So it has a buy and sales tax and our holders get rewarded through a portion of the buy and sales tax. They get half of the buy tax back as BUSD and half of the sales tax back as BUSD. That's just a primary token, and that's obviously to generate volume, to get people to buy and sell, but also to get people to hold. So if you stake your tokens, you then receive an APY reward based on your staked tokens. Okay, so that's how that works. With regards to the secondary, I'll start with the secondary tokenomics. The secondary tokenomics is the basic formula that we have for the reinvestment of the company's funds that then gets redistributed. Now, a portion of that goes to, as you can see on the wheel, it goes to affordable housing, marketing and development. It goes to OUT because there are running costs for the business. A portion goes to the clients. And then you have these two parts which are important for the investors. You've got the staked holders. So a portion is returned as BUSD or out tokens. This is to be voted on back to the staked holders. But then also, we don't want, some people just don't like staking, and we don't feel that they should be penalised. So what we've also done is built in a percentage that is returned to all holders. So just for holding the token, you also receive a benefit from the secondary tokenomics. The staked holders, because it goes to all holders, also receive a part of that. So that's, if you're staked, it's additional, but it's also there to make sure that everyone that holds our token is benefiting from the real world utility. The tertiary tokenomics are then based on these two principles. It's a compounding of the client's returns. So the client is returned the funds, the profit. We've taken out the original sum that was invested in the first place, and then out of that profit, we then reinvest the profit, and that profit is then divided. Again, the main focus is on the token holders. So the staked holders receive a reward and all holders receive a reward. And that increases the time, decreases the time that it takes to own the property. So we've looked at ways to actually make it as easy as possible for people to get to own a property. That's the primary one. The second of the tertiary autonomics is, as I said, we have running costs as a business because we are a business. So we have a percentage of the profit that is returned to Owners Unity to cover the running costs. Whenever there is additional funds outside of that, rather than put them away and keep them as profit and share them upstairs in the boardroom, we reinvest that as well. That reinvestment is then distributed between the holders and affordable housing, marketing and development, and back to the liquidity pool. So what we're doing is we are taking every additional penny that comes into the business and reinvesting it. And with that reinvestment, with the profits, we're sharing the profit. That's all it is. We're still making money as a business, but we're not being greedy. We're redistributing it as equally as we feel that we can. And that's hopefully an explanation of the tokenomics. So, brief overview. The primary token is the sales and buy tax. The secondary tokenomics is the initial formula that we use to generate profit, which we then share with everyone. The tertiary tokenomics is then the reinvestment of the client's profit and any additional funds that are left over from the running costs reinvested and then redistributed to you guys. Hopefully that explains that for you.
Yeah, mate, that really explained everything. So you just broke it down in the simplest way possible. So I believe everyone in the community understand what you just said. So I'll be handing it over to Caleb now. Caleb, do you have any more questions for me? I'll hand it over to the community.
Yeah, thanks for that, Nex. I just want to touch on something. in regards to your transparency, I know that, looking at this estate stuff and things like this, another thing that's really, really essential is the trust you build around people, right? So, I just want to know, just on top of the transparency, maybe I know you guys must have doxed yourself or maybe did a KYC. But aside from these things, what are other ways you guys try to let investors know that their funds are safe with you guys? Because people have been using the KYC stuff as one of their implementary stuff. We can't deny the fact that KYC is important, right? But we see a couple of projects out there at some point will still work, and even while they're KYC. So, but aside from this KYC, doxing of yourself, what other things do you guys have in store for we, the investors, to know that our funds are safe with you guys?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, that's a really good question, and we can clarify that quite easily. We're locking the liquidity pool and the wallets, the contracts, in a third-party contract. So our contract, imagine our contract's a little purse, and then you've got a strong box, which is the third-party contract. That goes inside our contract. The purse goes inside the strong box, which is the third-party contract, and it gets locked. That key is then held by the owner of the third-party contract. So the guard has the key. For us to access our contract or our wallets, we have to ask the guard to unlock the strong box so we can get to the purse. The guard will only unlock the strong box if the community, you guys, say, yes, we've said that they can unlock the box and they can access the purse. So without a vote, we can never access that contract. If you guys say no to everything we want to do, then that contract never gets touched. So I don't know that there's always inherent risks, and anyone that says there isn't is lying. So there's no point. There's always an inherent risk. KYC, let's be honest, most people that rug pull businesses, they can fly through every legal check you could do on the planet, and they'll fly through all of them. So whilst I agree with KYC and doxing is very important, but whilst I agree with these things, I don't think they should be the be all and the end all. The proof is in the pudding, and the best way to do that is to actually lead by example and show exactly what you're doing. Like I said, transparency. If you can think of a more secure way of protecting your community's assets than we're trying to do, we're always prepared to go that step further. We can't even say that the third-party contractor, although this is purely hypothetical and don't take it the wrong way, someone there could empty the contract, but that can happen anywhere. So we've taken as many precautions as we can. That's about as much as we can really do. But with regards to the third party, it's Everise. So, they're pretty bob on with what they're doing, and we have no doubts that everything we're doing is to protect you guys in the community.
That's really amazing, and I love the fact where you cut it quite really short and simple to understand, because that's really the trend right now. Hey guys, how can I be sure that my funds are safe? The next thing you get is, well, can't you look at our website with KYC, with docs? That's a point. Once we invest our funds, we're gonna be having the sad news. This is not the first time it's been happening, but the truth is, as a common project, you want to do everything, out of your power to prevent that, right? You want to let the people know here that, I know you've been hurt before, but trust me on this, we are not really here to stay. We're a long-term project. We're here. We care so much about you guys. We care so much about your hard-earned funds. All of those things alone get community involved in, and we really want to see what you guys have. But once you just base your project on just because you KYC it or you doxing yourself, and you expect people to get involved when the other project themselves are doing the same thing, and so they end up working. So I love the fact whereby you guys are locking on liquidity for a long period of time, which shows that you are here to stay as well, which is really amazing. But I'd like to get more involved with the Honor to Unity. I would like to know more about your marketing plans. I know for sure that you guys are getting involved in AMAs, but what are the other things you guys have? Do you guys have like partnerships, or what other things are you guys looking forward to make Honor to Unity a global one? So I would like to know about that.
I'll touch on partnerships after Paul's gone through the marketing aspect, Paul.
You say what?
Yeah, no, I said I will go through where we are with partnerships after Paul has broken down what we plan to do on the marketing moving forward.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So we've been working on our PR contacts over the past couple of weeks. So we've made inroads with a lot of what they call tier one media outlets, especially obviously mainstream media, but also in the crypto space. So that's really exciting. We're working on a lot of amazing articles to be released and sort of distributed amongst journalists. Obviously, during the crash, we're just building community, educating our community on it, and sort of bringing people into the fold, ready for this sort of the next stage of launches, the private round, and obviously TGE on the horizon coming up. Again, my background is influencers and key opinion leaders. So we have, several million in reach in terms of key opinion leaders, which we'll be utilizing in the next couple of months. And yeah, we're super excited to get the actual TGE out there when that comes about. Right now, there's a complete rebrand happening of the brand new artwork and all the sort of socials to make things look really good. And there's also a new website being developed, much sleeker, much quicker, and that answers a lot more of the sort of common questions that people have in the community about Owners Unity. But yeah, a lot of it is the sort of building upon what we've already done. There'll be more email campaigns. We'll be doing more Twitter competitions, more sweet widget competitions to get involved heavier in the project. So yeah, it's just lots of brand awareness, outreach, and preparation for TGE essentially.
Okay, and on the partnership front, we want to work with as many like-minded projects as possible. We also won't announce anything unless it's done. We don't believe in doing that. But we are in talks with 2 NFT brands with regards to part of our roadmap and what we plan to do moving forward. We're in touch with a wallet provider with regards to building wallets and implementation of the wallets. We're talking about that as well. We're also looking at partnerships with a couple of other projects. We're close on 3 of them, but we won't announce anything until it's done. Plus, a few other projects in the green sector are waiting for us to come out of the other side of this, so to actually launch, and then they're prepared to talk to us about how we can all interact and move all of our projects forward. I just need to add something, because I think the biggest thing that's been missed is what is our end goal? What do we hope to achieve? And what we want to achieve is building our own self-sustaining, carbon neutral smart homes that are run on blockchain technology. So a very quick overview: everything in your house can be run on a system from your computer, even down to the amount of energy that's running through your applications. So imagine a system where, if say your dishwasher is malfunctioning and it's burning more energy, it's on the system, due to the voltage optimization that would be on there, you would be able to notice that there is a surge in the energy going through at that certain point. The system notifies you. Once it notifies you, you can just hop onto the system and you can order a verified maintenance person to come out and to have a look at it. That will all be done on the system. We want to run on renewables, whether it's biomass, whether it's wind, water, whatever's local, solar, and all of that can be run on a closed system. And the only feed that you have into the grid is when you're selling the product back. And any funds that are raised from the product being sold back to the grid is then distributed as part of the tokenomics. We're in talks about metaverse. We will be building a blockchain moving forward. There's lots going on here, and it's all designed to get people into homes, and that's where we are.
That's really amazing, Des and Paul. I mean, that's really a great way to start on, especially because I tell most of my colleagues that they have project out there. I tell them that yeah, I mean, you might decide to have a great idea, you might decide to have a great plan in regards to your project, right? But if you don't have marketing plans, if you don't have communities getting involved in the project, it's more like you trying to build a house and you don't have this material to complete that house, right? So you guys implementing, I mean, in regards to Honor to Unity, one of the things I would like to compliment you guys for is you trying to build up a community, because that's really unique features that can be implemented on a project. I wish all projects have that kind of idea whereby you want to get your community involved, right? So let's say, for example, I come up with a project, and the next thing I want to do is I have AMAs, and the next thing I want to do is have a pre-sale involved. Come on, we all know that it's not even more different compared to a pump and dump project. But you have an AMA with certain goals, and you even open up an AMA on community. Why not talk to the people who you were able to talk to in the previous AMA? You have to remember that these people also have been enticed by different projects. And most of them, like I said it before, most are getting involved in work pools and stuff like that. Why not sit them down and tell them why Honor Unity is here? Why not sit them down and educate them why you guys are different? You know, that's something you know, can attract people out there. We don't just want to care about more about making X's or funds. We want to care about why it's different, why we should hold, why it should be a long-term project. So I really love the fact you guys have partnership installed, and you guys are also working more on the community. So I just have one more question to ask you guys, then we can move to the community. And I want to ask you guys more about your contract. Is it audited? Because that has been most issue with some project, not just affecting the project itself, but has also because a lot of issue to the investors as well. So I'd like to know if your contract is audited.
No, our contract is not audited at this precise moment in time, but we are currently going through the process of the gold membership with Reflex, and they are doing our audit for us, and obviously the KYC and that, which we mentioned before. So our contract, our staking contract, because that will be ready at launch as well, and our pre-sale contract are all in the process of being audited as we speak. The reason for the delay was we wanted all of the contracts to be audited at once, because that makes sense. Secondly, because our pre-sale has an APY on it, and it was not easy to get the contract finished with an APY, because we wanted it to be variable, but that's really, really tricky. So we ended up with a fixed APY. But this is on your pre-sale contract. So basically, everyone that invests in us will receive an APY on their pre-sale. Even though it's vested, your vested tokens receive an APY. The reason we've done that is because I'm sure you've all been in groups where you've got in on pre-sale, and then you've watched people buy in at launch, and they stake their tokens, and they're receiving these amazing rewards. And then by the time you get your tokens released after the cliff period and the following vesting schedule, by the time you get them back, the APYs return to nearly normal, and you're like, all these people, I've supported this project from the start, and I've got nothing to show for it except some cheaper tokens. We won't do that. We have a vesting schedule with an APY. That's what held up the auditing, but we're currently in the process at the moment.
That's really amazing. I mean, you guys really want to get that available, because that alone keeps the community at ease, because if your contract is not audited, lots of people are going to be scared to get involved and stuff like that. But I mean, once it's audited, you can also make it official, so that people can know that your community is really amazing. So that's all of my questions to you guys. I don't know if you guys have any other things you may want to add that we must have missed. Please feel free to share with our community before we get a question from them.
You have anything, Paul?
No, I mean, I think, we're an hour in. I think we've been pretty robust and complete in what we're doing. I'm sure that they understand the project at this point.
What about you next? Do you have anything you may want to add on into the project before we move to the community?
No, I think did a good job in regards to explaining a lot of stuff. So just leave it for the community to bring out whatever it is that we've missed.
All right, let's get a question from the community then. Hey guys, you may want to raise your hand now. It's time for you to ask your questions, and make sure you have questions regarding to the project itself. So we'll start with let's start with Pels. Pels, you're muted.
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy.
Hello?
Ask a question.
Hello?
Yeah, you can
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Give me a minute. Okay, so my question is, many investors, they hold for like the tokens for like a short term without understanding like the long term value. Like, I've been listening to the AMA for a while now. It seems like you guys have it all planned out. But just space, how the crypto works, everything goes really fast, and I'm just concerned about how getting people to hold this project, getting the community to be excited to come out every day to do all that shit. And then the second question I want to ask is just one more time, just list something like 3 things that you feel like makes your project stand out from other projects that will make people really want to feel part of that community. And and I just want to hear a little bit more about your marketing, if that's okay.
Yeah, Paul, do you want to start with the marketing?
Yeah, I want to start with the marketing. And what sorry, one last question. And what floor do you hope to have, like stable floor you hope to have in the future?
And I mean, we already turn off your mic.
Please mute your mic. We get some feedback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I already covered marketing earlier. So without sort of trying to repeat yourself, we've got key opinion leaders. My background is obviously, as well as key opinion leaders, we work with people from sort of mainstream influencers, whether that's MTV, some of the largest personalities and influencers in Europe, the UK, some in the USA. We're looking to do sort of launching conferences in Dubai, where we have journalists from all the major sort of crypto publications. Obviously, rolling forward, once the development and the property development start, and we start, putting bricks to the ground and building these amazing sort of affordable housing estates and sort of changing the lives of different families, the content and the marketing is just gonna handle itself really, in terms of sort of earned media and earned headlines, and getting at the sort of tier one media circuit through helping lives and through changing the lives of families across the world. So it's going to be a super easy project to market, really. But we're doing a multi sort of angle approach to the market, where every platform, whether it's TikTok, TikTok. We're going to have a YouTube channel. Obviously getting on not just AMAs, but actual podcasts. This is all sort of coming up in the next couple of months.
And I will tackle the... Sorry, buddy, you finish and I'll go after you, Peltz.
No, it was feedback from Peltz.
We get it.
Continue.
We get it in the mix up. Maybe Peltz, you want to say something in regards to what they've touched on before. Maybe Paul can take over. Peltz?
I wanted to say, I asked a couple questions besides the marketing, so I was just waiting for them to finish. I said okay for what he said before, so I'm just waiting for them to finish.
Yeah, okay, not a problem. I was just waiting for that interaction. Okay, it can happen on TG. Okay, with regards to how do we keep people involved and how do we get them up and how do we get them about, volume is key. We want people to hold and we want people to support the project long term, and we do that through education. And again, the proof is in the pudding. We can sit here and talk about it all day and wax lyrical about our project, but the proof's in the pudding. We put forward an honest project where we answer the questions and the proposals, and then it's for all of the investors to make up their mind. But we want the day traders as well as the investors, because volume at the start is just as important as holders. So we need a mix of the both of both to move forward. We hope that the traders will come in because they can see the initial take up of the project, and when the projects move in, there's a good buzz and the marketing will increase the price. When they see price movement, they'll come in, and people will always try and control that. So that's where we look for the day traders for. We also hope there is enough people out there that will read the project, actually read into what we're trying to do, ask us the questions, we'll answer the questions for them. They will then stake and hold, because let's face it, 6 different passive incomes from one token is pretty good, especially when 4 of those revenue streams are going to increase with the growth of the project. So that's how we feel that we've found the balance that will hopefully get the day traders on board and get the people that want to do the most good on board to stake, because they'll make a good profit off us. With regards to the 3 things that make us unique, I think the first thing, unique is a difficult word to cover, but if you look at the fact that we are a hybrid project that are actually looking to tie you guys, the investors, in with the real world project in a way that no other project has done yet, which is a direct redistribution of every spare penny back to you guys and into building the business, and then by building the business, driving more revenue is more rewards for you guys. I think that's pretty unique. Secondly, and I think this really is unique, our project is actually targeting real world people, your normal people. We're not going out and saying, oh, if you buy 15 crypto, you can get a loan on that and make a silly amount of money. We're saying to people, crypto can help you. It can help you in your everyday life. And this is how it can help you. Because if you want mass adoption, you have to go to those people and show them that crypto isn't a fad, that all of the FUD that's out there is untrue, and show your average person in real terms how crypto will benefit them. Once we do that, that's when we'll start getting more adoption from normal people. And there are more normal people out there than there are high flyers or crypto maxis. So they're the people who we need to target. Thirdly, I think our approach is pretty unique in this field. I know 2 of them might overlap slightly, but I think that they're the 3 main things. We will hopefully always be open to you guys and be community based. I don't see, any other project out there. They all talk about being community based and they have some aspects of it, but we're looking to be a true cooperative. Like I said before, you might not have been on when I said it. We are here because of a concept, but that concept belongs to all of us. Everyone that invests in this project is involved in the project, is involved in the decision making of the project. So I think those are hopefully answers to both of your questions. And if I haven't covered it fully or missed something, or you feel that there's something else I could cover for you just to clarify, then obviously please, Peltz, let me know.
That was good. That was good. I'm really excited for this. That was good. All right, bye.
It seems like you cleared up his doubt there, Paul. Yeah, thanks for that, Pels. Up next we have Jamal. Jamal, you're muted.
Yeah, hello. All right. Thank you, Caleb. Hello, Das and the Advanced Unit team. My question is basically based on the country-wise, the region-wise. So you guys are pulling up a good project which is about buying of land and stuff like that. I know, and you're looking at the crypto space presently. You know, it's not about one region, it's not about one key continent. It's worldwide, it's global. So how do you intend to balance the bridge or the gap between different countries when it comes to buying of land and stuff like that?
Yeah, hi. Very good question, Jamal, and hopefully I'll be able to answer that for you. Going back to the last question, we're community-based, so we will put forward to you guys where you want us to invest because we want to help everyone. What I also said before, which you might have missed, is we aren't doing anything external to how the property industry already operates. So whilst there are some differences with regards to regulations in different countries, we're not doing anything that isn't already being done. It's mainly just a redistribution of the profit of the company. And I think it's key that everyone remembers that. We're not cooking up some great, brilliant new scheme or product that's a miraculous cure for anything. We've just taken what's already existing. It's a very simple process, taken what's already existing, and instead of using it to profit and benefit us and other people at the top of the project, we are tweaking it so that everyone benefits from it, because it doesn't hurt for everyone to benefit. And it's as simple as re-education. We need to get out of the mindset where we can't achieve anything, and to achieve anything we need to hurt people or tread over people on the way. There's more of us, and if we put all of our knowledge and all of our wisdom and invest together as a unit, we're bigger than the biggest conglomerate. They can't do anything. It's us that gives them the power, because we accept what they say and we just accept that this is how our life is. It's not how our life is, and crypto's helping us to do that. And hopefully that answers your question, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thank you, Caleb.
Thanks for that, Jamal. Good question. Let's get a question from Moonshine.
Great. Can I just interject? I need to shoot now. I've got another meeting. But yeah, I can pass it over to Scott. But it's been great. You guys having us. Want to thank you to the Gold Digger team. And some of the questions have been amazing. But yeah, I'll shoot out. Just to finish, like I say, our seed round is open. And you can join in on that and submit your wallet address for whitelist at outoken.org. Great. Thanks very much for having me, guys. I'll pass it over to Scott.
All right, my brother. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye, Paul.
All right. Moonshine, you're muted. You can ask a question.
Hey, Caleb. Hey, Jazz. So, my question is actually about the OUT token, where you said you take any deposit plus the monthly payments and looks to create profits on this and all that. So I was actually asking, before a client can come to deposit or pay instrumentally, would you have to cross-check if the client has like an insurance policy? Will you request that the client should bring an insurance in case something happens and he's not able to meet up with instrumental payments? What would happen? That's my question.
Hi, thank you. And that is a superb question. And it also helps to show exactly what our project does. Each of the properties, once you have been accepted, the community's voted to accept you, and you move into the property, there is a portfolio attached to the property. So out of the investment, if you look at our tokenomics and our scheduling, you'll see there's different portfolio types. So you can be more aggressive with a 90% crypto, or you can look for more stability with a 50-50 traditional stocks and a crypto portfolio. We've also got the additional security of the Bitcoin and gold reserves, which we will have as well. More specifically, if someone's in a home, the whole idea of this is for them to be secure and for the property to take care of themselves. It's the biggest investment you'll make in your life for most people. So what we do is we add a portfolio to the property that is with the property in perpetuity. So, for instance, just to keep the figures simple, say you pay $500 a month. And you've been in there for a while and your portfolio is up to $40,000, for instance, on a $100,000 property. If something happens to you, you have a medical emergency, you become unemployed, you make us aware of this. We then go back to the community and the community will vote, as long as you've provided the evidence, on your ability to utilize the portfolio. If you can, then we will draw down on the portfolio until you've recovered. If you don't recover and the portfolio goes down to zero, then unfortunately, you'll have to go through a process of eviction. We will try our hardest to keep you in situ. But again, as I've said before, we have to be honest. There's a probability that at some point, some people will get evicted, but we will do everything we possibly can to prevent that. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think that was a very wonderful answer, because that was one aspect I was actually very curious about. Now, you said you're going to try your best to make sure things are kept transparent and all that. So I was actually, I just want to say something about that, because definitely this might happen to some people, but if you would agree with me, this may also affect your project, because like you said, it's going to drop, the clients is going to drop to a certain amount, and which you have to keep it stable. So I just want to know, would you have like maybe a fund somewhere, or like a treasury fund or a backup fund to assist whenever situations like this happen? That's the only question I have left. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, fine, not a problem. I think if you look at the way it's structured, we're obviously a business, so we need to protect ourselves. We can be as fair as we can, but we've got all the other investors that we have to take care of. So the property is obviously collateral, okay? And the money that we're using to try and support you and help you is profit. So we're not going into a negative position at all. So we will always be in profit on the property. We'll either have the property, and the property will obviously increase in value over time. So if you're in it for 5 years, for instance, and you've built up a good portfolio, that will sustain you, but we don't lose if we then try to support you from that. So we're not going to lose money on any part of the project. Secondly, if you look at our tokenomics and the way that it's structured, we have a backup of Bitcoin and gold, a reserve. If we have to, in a dire situation, then we can draw down on those funds. But like I say, in all situations, there is always a risk. We've done everything we can to minimise it, but anyone that says to you that there is zero risk is lying. So we've done as much as we possibly can with our knowledge and our experience to make it a secure system, but there's always a risk, and I will always be honest and tell you guys that.
Okay, thank you very much, Daz. Thank you for the opportunity, Caleb. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Moonshine. Up next we have Kryptonian. Kryptonian, you're muted.
Hi, Gold Diggers. Hi, Daz.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
My question is based on the referral aspect. In real estate, there are individuals who bring people to buy properties and get commission for selling such properties. Now, how do these individuals benefit from your own token? Do they have a role, or do they play a part in your real estate token, or they are just left out? That is one. And then secondly, also in real estate, a lot of properties are being sold for high percentage, for a high amount. For example, in Nigeria here, properties are sold between 27 million to 100 million for different properties. Now, will you be making yours cheap at a cheaper level so that people can get to it? People can quickly rush these buildings and solve their homeless problems.
Okay, thanks very much for the question. I'll take that in two parts. The first part is some will be involved, some won't be involved. We will open negotiations, and if they don't match our ethos, then we won't use them. We are also planning to have our own system in place and our own realtors or estate agents, what you want to call them, because as you know, the buyers and the sellers are charged a fee. So if we take on board the part of the seller, so we get people to put their properties through us and we sell, then that fee comes to us. We can negate that fee from the cost. We can not charge the seller the fee, and then we can redistribute those funds amongst the community. So that's how we plan to move ahead. The second part of your question is more of a long-term question, and the way that works is, to start with, we will purchase properties. So to give you an idea, if a client comes to us and says, I like this property, then we have to pay market price for it. We still have to bid on it and get that price. So to start with, we can't change the price of a property. As we grow and we start building our own, it will be at cost. So of course we will look to reduce the price, because there are a lot of charges that we won't have to put in. So once we're building our own properties, we will sell them as cheaply as possible. That's the whole idea of this. We don't like the term affordable housing. We believe all housing should be affordable. So we will keep it as cheap as we can. Hopefully that answers your question.
So let me quickly get you clearly. I personally am a real estate. So in essence, you are saying that I could work for you people and at the same time get commission from bringing clients to the company?
Yes, of course. We're still a business, so you still need to make money. We just are trying to adjust how it's done. So however the system works, we're quite prepared to work with people, but they have to work and they have to have our ethos. So with regards to your payment and what percentage you take, if you work for us directly, you would still get your percentage, but obviously that's less than what's charged overall, and we would negate the additional charges to the buyers and our clients.
All right, that is wonderful. That's beautiful. Now, sorry, one quick one, Caleb. I'm sure you love to expand. Expand to other countries or other continents in the world. So, where do you think your expansion will be focused on? Where do you think you'll be expanding to, and to bring to make people know or increase awareness um for your project?
Great question. Thank you. I think it's a case of we have a marketing plan in place. We also hope that talking with you guys will help in the investment circles. But remember, we are a real world property organisation as well. So we'll be doing your traditional marketing, etc., and all the other aspects of that come along with it. So I think it's a twin approach with regards to how we move into other areas. But I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is key. The community will decide because, like I've said before, a concept has been created, but it belongs to all of us. And any decision that impacts the community will be voted on by the community. That's what a cooperative is, and that's how we plan to move forward. And hopefully that's an answer that's satisfactory for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Beautiful project, nice one, bro. I love the whole concept. I hope to work with you guys in the future or very soon.
Well, DM us and we'll keep your details and we can talk.
Sure will do. Thanks, Caleb.
All right, thanks for that, Kryptonian. Let's get a few more questions and we can wrap this up because we're running out of time. Let's get a question from Paragon. Paragon, you're muted. Paragon? Okay. I guess it's having some connection issue. Let's get a question from Greek. Greek, you're muted. Greek?
Hello.
Hi.
All right.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. I thought my mic wasn't working. So, hello, Das. Hi, Gold Diggers. You have an amazing project here, and I've been following the back and forth, in a sense, and I think what you have here is I think it's quite solid. Yeah. So you talked about the DeFi real estate evolution, and basically my understanding so far of what you have as a project is to make housing affordable. But personally, housing and DeFi is I feel it's quite complex in that most people flock into DeFi because they intend to chase, I would say, stay anonymous, and then housing, requires usually that, you provide some, form of KYC and all of the rest. So basically, how do you intend to say, bridge this between anonymity of, DeFi users and then, trying to work around the regulations?
Great question. And the way to answer that is to remember that as a hybrid company and a hybrid project, we have the two different aspects. Although they are intertwined, they are separate. So with regards to the DeFi, we don't ask for any information. Everyone is anonymous. That's how it should be. With regards to the property aspect, for instance, when people do the affordability check, they follow all of the normal legal requirements in their jurisdiction for a credit check. The difference being is that we don't use a formula that doesn't take the individual into account when we either accept or we reject that applicant. What we do is we look through. It doesn't matter if you've paid your rent on your property for the past 2 years and you've never missed a payment, but you happen to have a county court judgment or a judgment against you because you had a park ticket 5 years ago, that shouldn't be a reason for you not to be able to get into the property market. So we take that application, we humanise it, but when we go back to the community, we only use the reference number. So the people that move into the properties will have to follow the traditional process, but we're looking for real world people to do that. So that's a perfectly acceptable process to go through. And it doesn't impact on the DeFi space because we're not asking anyone in the DeFi space to declare who they are. All we're asking them to do is believe in us, invest, hold the token stake, and watch us help people. So hopefully that answers your questions. If I've misunderstood, please clarify for me and I'll take it further.
I think it does. I think it does. Well, my major one concern I have, I think, or if I'm correct, I think you're from the US, you're from the States, and
England.
there is oh, you're from England. That's amazing. So, well, I think it might not be applicable to you. In my second question wouldn't really be applicable to you, but I think I would just ask anyway. Most countries, and especially say for the US, the SEC, has into a couple of asset classes, and when you tell people you are offering them, property or real estate investment, they kind of classify it according to the SEC. It's quite classified as like as securities, and there might be regulatory issues, something similar to what we are having with XRP, and a couple of other projects on the side. So even though you might not have this at the moment, and I think when it comes to the property market, one of the most lucrative places has to be in the States, probably Singapore, Saudi Arabia. So should, say, regulatory issues, try to come up as regards, how the government now classifies what you are offering, how do you guys intend to, say, scale it? Because you talked about, everybody abiding to the rules or to the laws, in their vicinity. So how do you guys intend to scale it as a company?
Well, we would intend to abide by the legislation. Great question, by the way, of whichever country or jurisdiction we're in. I think the key thing is to remember that as a hybrid, it's still separate entities. So your token isn't offering you property. It's offering you an investment in a reflex token. That reflex token has tokenomics. Those tokenomics are receiving rewards, but the rewards aren't for an investment as such. They are for your staking. With regards to the property company, we are channeling our profits, not your investment. It's our profits, and we're redistributing our profits. So it's not your investment. You're not investing. This is the key that I think a lot of people can't quite get their heads around, and it is quite difficult to understand. But when you move into the property and you pay your rent, for instance, that rent is then the property of the company that you've paid it to. It's then up to us as a company how we choose to redistribute that. You're not investing. We have set a project up and we have set a formula up that says if you move in, you pay your rent, or we will then invest that ourselves as a company, not for you, but what we're going to do is we're going to take that investment and we're going to redistribute it. We're entitled to redistribute our profit however we see fit. If we have to pay some tax on that, that is, again, not an issue. But you're not investing in the token on a technicality. into a property company. You're investing into a crypto project, which is a reflex token. If the wording is correct, and it's always about wording, and we are speaking with compliance solicitors, we have legal people working on it. If you get the wording correct, then you can get around everything. But on the other side of that, like I always say, and I've said on here multiple times, if they decide to come after you, you can do everything right and they can find a reason to come after you. There's nothing you can do about it. So whilst we've taken every measure we can to ensure that there are no difficulties, at the end of the day, like they did with XRP and like they can do with multiple others, if they decide to come after you, they're coming after you, and it doesn't matter how well you've done anything, they will try and get you. But finally, we are working within the legal framework in every country, so we're doing our best to maintain the status of the project.
I think Daz, you mentioned something very smart, and it's all about how it's worded, and literally, all of this securities classification, is based on of how the words are placed out for, say, your potential investors and all. So I think I understand the part that it's not an investment, and I think it's quite smart from the team to use that kind of framework. I'm heading into your Telegram, definitely, hipping into your project, because I think, I saw what looked like the problem statement on your website, and I was impressed because it's not just about returning finances to the people. Everything as regards real estate, healthcare. I think the people should be able to, to retain power and decision making as regards some of these things. So I think your project is well thought out, well smart, really smart, and I saw the caliber of people on your team. I am quite certain that you guys are going to be successful. So thank you very much for your time, Daz. Thank you very much, Caleb.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Greg. I think that's how far we can go with the question. But before we take this to a close, is there any what you would like to say to my community, to the investors here, before we end this?
Of course, I'd like to thank you and your community for the time and for listening and for asking the great questions. I think with regards to our project, all you need to do is read up on it, and it just shows you what crypto was created for. It was created to take the power back from the corporations and from the banks, and to give us the opportunity to have the power in our hands. I think we need to remember that, and to get back to that, and to really achieve mass adoption of crypto, we have to make it relevant for your average everyday person. And what is more relevant than the struggles of home ownership and getting on the property ladder? Why is it so difficult? Why is there so much trouble around this? Why is there such a spiral of the prices? It's all designed to keep us where we are. How can there be such a bad situation in the world, yet corporations are posting record profits? We need to do things like this to get the power back in our hands. And there shouldn't be homeless people in the world. There's enough land and there are enough resources in the world for everyone to have a home, not just a home, but a home that has running water, a home that, has an indoor toilet, crazy stuff. And it's possible if we do the right thing and stick together as a community, because it's as a community and as society that we do our best work. Please remember that, yes, this project came out of someone's mind, but like all great ideas, once it's out there, it belongs to everyone. And it's our duty to take these kind of things and make them a reality so we can benefit everyone. That's pretty much all I've got to say. And, thank you again for having me. And I hope you'll come over and we will answer any question you ask. You might not get the answer you want, but we will answer it. and you can make your decision from there. But thank you guys for your time. It's been a great AMA.
Yeah, thank you so much, Des, and also my regards to Paul as well. You guys did an awesome presentation, and you answered all of the questions correctly, which shows that you know what you're doing. Because we don't want to deny the fact that it's really not easy, you know, bringing up an idea and answering every question behind those ideas. It's something really unique because it shows that you are serious about what you're doing, and you are working every day to make this successful. So we're gonna congratulate you guys for that, and yeah, hopefully to see you guys. All right, brother.